Welcome to the Health on Track podcast. Let's talk well-being.
Welcome to the Health on Track podcast, offering you a shot of wellness. I'm Yasmin, and I'm the Member Engagement and Communications Manager at GIG Gulf Insurance. Well-being at work, is it a myth or is it real? Maybe to you it sounds like two things that simply can't be mixed, or maybe they need to be mixed as part of your overall well-being. Let's explore that with Dr. Mansoor. Dr. Mansoor is a family medicine consultant and the Senior Director of Employee Wellbeing. He established the in-house occupational health staff clinic and a dedicated well-being department. So if anyone knows about well-being at work, it's him. So Dr. Mansoor, what encouraged you to establish the well-being department?
Okay, thank you for the question. Before we go into what encouraged me to establish a well-being department, let's go a little bit backward and try to focus on what do we mean by well-being. I believe today the word well-being has been
Thrown around.
Overused, abused, exhausted, where everything is correlated with well-being. But in a simple definition, well-being is a state, or it's a feeling, or it's an experience of health, of prosperity, of comfort, or of happiness. So there are different terminologies linked to well-being. What means one thing to someone could mean something different to someone else with the word well-being. But to summarize it, well-being is a very subjective state. It's not an objective number that you will say, oh, your sugar level is normal or abnormal.
Well-being achieved.
Well-being achieved. It's more like a temperature of your body. We have something which is a normal range, an acceptable range of temperature, but then we have a state of overwhelmed well-being or under well-being, etc. So the fascinating aspect about well-being, because it is such a dynamic concept, there is always a room to improve it, to enhance it, to work around it, and try to understand human being more and more via the lens of well-being. For some, well-being is physical. It's about my blood pressure, it's about my cholesterol. For someone else, it's my psychology and my mental health. For someone else, it could be my social connection. For someone else, could be my giving back to the society, and so on and so forth. Indeed, well-being encompasses all of those parameters and categories in someone's life. But when we come to workplace, well-being has a very specific agenda. The outcome that we are hoping out of it is valuing the employee at that workplace, that you're someone that we care for. And then bringing the best out of that employee, where he or she can reach to a state of optimal productivity, feeling good about themselves as well.
No sick leaves, no.
That comes naturally, because once you are in a state of optimal flow with your work and you are enjoying what you do, you won't need to have that much sick leave, because you will feel good most of the time, hopefully. Obviously, sickness is a normal part of a human being, but when you create an environment, when you create a space within a workplace where well-being is the easy choice, that makes a huge difference on the employee life cycle. Going back to what encouraged me to establish the well-being department, it's a passion that I carried as a physician. I used to work in the healthcare sector, in the field of family medicine, and then I came across a concept called occupational health, which looks at the impact of work on the health of an employee. And I did some further studies in occupational health, and then I decided to move to a company where I was given the opportunity to establish a well-being department, where we have come up with a framework to embrace health and make it the easy choice and make it the default settings among the employees.
Okay, so going back to what you said about occupational health, how can the workplace or work environments impact our well-being?
Immensely. Today, how many hours do we spend at work versus how many hours do we spend at home?
Like 9, well, much more.
Much more. We might see our colleagues more than our family members. Today, work shape our behavior, shape our perspectives and has a huge impact on our psyche. You go home and you're carrying work with you. Yes, there is something called work-life balance, but in reality, with today's knowledge-based economy and having the phone in our pocket, we cannot balance or separate them. They are all integrated. So nowadays, the literature and the research uses more the concept of work-life integration. How we can cultivate an environment where work and life goes hand in hand together. Going back to our workplace, the reality that our identity is shaped by who we are and what do we do and what's our purpose in life, a lot of that is accomplished in the workplace. Hence, if I am able to bring the best out of me and to have that sense of self-satisfaction in my workplace, the biggest enabler is embracing a culture of well-being, whether it's physical, mental, social. We can come into more details about it later on. But once well-being becomes the North Star for an organization, automatically they will get the revenue that they are looking for, they will get the profit they're looking for, they will get the satisfaction, and it will align with their strategy.
So as someone who has seen like firsthand the before and after, and like before establishing the well-being department and after establishing the well-being department, can you share your experience of like real life experience of how this has impacted your organization?
Why not to go far away? I just received an email last night from a colleague of us in the workplace. This colleague has been with us for more than 10 years in the company, and she has gone through a lot of challenges, including surviving a cancer. And yesterday, literally, she was rewarded as a winner of the weight loss challenge in the company.
Nice.
So the shift that happened within the outcome of this employee is huge. I got an email where she was immensely thankful. She was grateful that the wellness team and the well-being team is there to support her, to nudge her, to take care of her. And this is just a small testimonial of many other stories that we receive on a regular basis about colleagues telling us how impactful was the well-being framework, the care that they received. Because when we talk about well-being, it's not just a fitness activity or a healthy diet. It's more than that. It's the empathy, it's the compassion. It's when you have an in-house physician in a company will be able to articulate in a professional manner with the colleague. The safety zone that is created, where it allows the employee to vent out, to talk it out. Today, in many companies, I can understand we don't have a health specialist. It's not the best way for an employee to vent out or to talk about their challenges or issues to the human resource department.
Yes, there's a lot of stigma that comes around.
Now, even if I have the best human resource department supporting my team, at the end of the day, they are not professionals when it comes to health and well-being. They are really good in what they do. But if there is something impacting me socially or impacting me physically or impacting me mentally, who best can understand me than someone within the field, who's someone that can articulate with me and allow me to think differently and put things into perspective, prioritize what is important, which will allow me to go back to my work with a different spirit and with an ambition and a clear purpose.
But there's also a lot of stigma around it. Like, even if that person does exist in the workplace, I think a lot of people are afraid to take that step because they always think like this person is kind of trying to get information that will later on be used against me. And a lot of people are afraid that if they speak up about their struggles or whatever they're going through, then maybe they won't be up for promotions, they won't be up for raises. So there's also a lot of stigma around that.
Spot on, you nailed it.
Yeah.
You know, the first 6 months of my presence in the company, no one visited me.
spoke to you.
No one spoke to me. And I was like, what did I do? Is there something wrong? What's happening? And I realized that they are afraid. Interestingly, coincidentally, we had a medical issue with one of our colleagues at that time, and we created a safety zone. We supported that employee. We allowed him to come back to work after a few months of rehabilitation, and we did a complete return to work fitness assessment, and we incorporated that employee in a gradual manner. Once we shared the story of that employee with everyone,
People started to have faith.
people started to have faith. People started trusting us. Now, the recipe to ensure that colleague trusts you is passion, integrity, and time. You need time for them to trust you, but you need to continue your journey with passion and integrity. Eventually, you will be contagious enough that the employee will feel, oh, okay, I know if I go there, I'm safe and I'm able to talk my heart out.
That's great. What other challenges did you face when you first established, or what are most common challenges that are faced by workplaces when it comes to employee and
The
well-being?
first question that comes to the mind of any senior management when it comes to well-being, why do we need it? It's a luxury. It's a waste of time. Why do we need to pamper our employee that much? I'm giving a good salary to my employee. I'm giving him other benefits like medical insurance, like home allowance or travel allowance or etc. So if there is a medical insurance, whenever he or she falls sick, they can visit any hospital or any medical center. So why do I need to do more
Spoil
than that and spoil them? Okay. This is one perspective. And this is the prevailing perspective among many.
Yeah.
Because many decision makers in companies, they need the dollar sign. They need to see profit. And for them, this is a cost. This is a place where there is a leakage of money. And they need a clear return on their investment. And they always ask a question, what return of investment and what profit will I get behind this function or this department or this concept? Now, here is the catch. Not everything in life is number.
Yeah.
As humans, today we have emotions. Can we quantify these emotions? No. Can we say at what number I love you or you love me or I care for you, you care for me? It's all about emotions and it's all about energy. Hence, when we go back to the well-being concept, the first important challenge and obstacle we need to deal with is, why do I need it? Is it a want or a need? Is it a luxury or a necessity? Today, all of us are humans and we have certain rights. And I'm a strong believer that well-being in the workplace is a right for every employee. It's not just something good to have or a cherry on the cake. It is an important enabler for the excelling of an employee to give their best. Why? Today, our work style is all knowledge-based economy.
Yeah.
You carry your laptop and you can work anywhere. But then at the same time, the job description is all based on tasks, on demands, on very unusual stuff. It's not just like manufacturing or producing a piece of cup, which is a very straightforward factory settings. We are not in a factory settings anymore in our workplaces. We are moving towards an industry where it's all about using our mental skills and human skills when it comes to productivity.
Yeah.
Having said that, well-being is a strong and an essential enabler to allow you to keep on recharging and restarting your mental battery to be able to come up with new ideas, with innovative ways to solve issues and to excel in life. Today, the requirement for us to keep on thriving and innovating is the well-being agenda, because that's an enabler. That's one. The other thing, for those who say it's a waste of money, it's definitely not a waste of money, because you're investing in your employees. You will ensure their loyalty, and that loyalty will allow you to bring the best out of them, and you will have always the edge because you'll have the best of the best. You will be an employer of choice. You will attract talents. You will be a hot spot because today generation, they're looking for places where they are valued as a human, not just of what skills they have, but in terms of their daily likes and dislikes. This is another aspect about well-being. You become a point of attraction. And the third aspect, what we have realized in our experience, on the long term, you start saving on your medical insurance cost. You start saving on your other parameters, and you enhance your engagement score. And your engagement can be also monetized because this allows you to enhance your brand, and your brand value goes up. And all of these arbitrary outcomes allows you to quantify the well-being into some numerical numbers that will convince your board of directors to look into well-being as a need rather than as a want.
It's an investment, really.
Definitely is an investment. Today, can you imagine a human resource department without a training unit?
No,
Why?
because you need to improve the skills and knowledge of your employees.
So what? I don't want to train them. Let them do whatever they want to do. It's the similar concept. Before a couple of years, training unit was not part of a human resource structure. It was just a good to have.
Yeah.
Now, you cannot imagine a human resource department without a training unit. We need to embrace the same mindset because we are moving with a technological revolution, with the fourth industrial revolution. We are moving to an era of AI. We are moving to an era of a lot of automation. Having said that, well-being gonna be your safeguard, your cushion towards what we are seeing of mental health epidemics, pandemics, you name it, and other challenges that as human we are facing, which we didn't face before. Before we used to face, for example, chemical fumes or certain hazards. Hence, you will wear your personal protective equipment when you go to a place to avoid injury. Yeah. Today, well-being is the new personal protective equipment.
That's a very nice way of putting it, that it's your new PPEs. They're as essential as PPEs. You mentioned earlier that well-being is a subjective state. So how can we say that this company has employee well-being or not, if it's subjective?
Okay. Because it's subjective, it depends on my mood as an employee. You might take me to the best workplace and I'm still not feeling good about it, right?
Yeah.
To minimize that impact, we look at 3 pillars when it comes to a well-being in a workplace. The first pillar, policies. The policies in that workplace, do they promote well-being? Is there a no smoking policy? Is there an hour to do physical activity policy to allow you to spend 1 hour from your working hours to go and do something like a physical activity? Is there a policy to prevent you to bring high sugar sodas in your workplace? The policy pillar gives you an indication that this workplace is taking well-being seriously. They are embracing it from a policy perspective, not just a good to have. All of us, we know about the no smoking policy. That's old school. The new school is about, do I have a policy that allows me to practice meditation or a run in the morning or a yoga class or you name it, and it's mandatory? This is obviously when you go to a very extreme measures. The second pillar, to embrace well-being or to find out if an organization is creating that environment of well-being, because subjectivity was one thing, but to change that subjectivity from a negative to a positive approach, you need these 3 pillars. The second pillar is programs and activities. Does the workplace provide employees with activities throughout the year? Participating in a marathon, going out in a wellness day, booking a hotel and having a team building activity, participating in a blood donation drive, and you name it. Do we have ongoing calendar of activities in my workplace that embraces physical activity, healthy nutrition, managing my chronic disease, allowing me to discover any illnesses before they appear, like high blood pressure or cholesterol, the mental well-being support, are there? So all of these nudges and programs, is it happening on a regular basis? Is it part of the DNA of the company? I'll give you an example. One of the programs that we have implemented a few years ago, we have linked the bonuses of our executives to cholesterol, sugar, and weight.
That's a bold move.
Exactly. This shows you the commitment that this workplace is going the
serious.
extra mile and they're serious. So if someone comes from that workplace and tells you they're not taking care of my well-being, then you know that there is an exaggeration. Because no, come on, they've done something bold and you're still not getting that state of comfort. There is something wrong.
You now.
There is something wrong with your perspective now, because it's not always the outside to blame.
Yeah.
Let's stop the blame game here. The third pillar is the supporting environment. When I enter into this workplace, using the stairs, is it the easy choice or the difficult choice? Do I have healthy food choices? Do I have plenty of water stations? Is there a lot of grass and greenery? Is there a space for me to do some yoga or to do some push-up?
Or to even just take a break, like just to chill.
Just take a break, just to rest. Is there a restroom? Is a restroom, when I mean is a meditation or not a bathroom? Is there a room where I can measure my weight or measure my blood pressure? So I'm just giving you a very quick titles, but if you deep dive, when we come to a supporting environment, there are so many things. If you take a walkthrough in that workplace or on the floor, is it a well-being welcoming zone, or is it a non-well-being welcoming zone? These three pillars, policies, programs, and supporting environment. Is there a gym? Is there a swimming pool? And so on and so forth. You can go to the max. Nevertheless, there is no benefit of having policies, programs, and supporting environment if the mindset of the management doesn't advocate for well-being.
Yeah.
What's the value of having all of this and your management feel irritated when you go in for a walk or when you use one of these facilities and they tell you, where were you during the meeting? We were waiting for you. That environment will not allow you to embrace well-being. So having the policies, programs, and supporting environment should go hand in hand with leadership support. And leadership should here walk the talk. They need to be on the ground doing these things themselves. That's one of the strongest and the most effective ways to take well-being to the next level. And we were lucky to have a management that walked the talk. Hence, it made our role easy in spreading the concept of well-being and infecting it to everyone.
That's amazing. I mean, you sound like your workplace is very supportive and...
Don't worry, there are stresses. There is no workplace which is void of stress or challenges. Because if there is no stress, then there is something wrong with that workplace. You need challenge, because as human, we need something to drive us every day. And we have certain areas where we are working on it to improve it. So I'm not saying we are the perfect, because that will allow me to go into a comfort zone, which we don't want. So we are always exploring what are the gaps, what are the area for improvement, and we try to tackle it as much as possible, because let's be realistic. In our country, our companies include diverse communities and backgrounds and nationalities. Yeah. So to come to a one level of understanding is not an easy step. Hence, we try to cultivate a common zone of understanding so that everyone are able to practice what they like.
As a physician, you're in a unique position to answer this question. What are some of the physical impacts of not having a proper well-being?
Okay. That's a very good question. Very good. Today, the biggest challenge that we see as physicians are chronic illnesses. And when we say chronic illnesses, we mean obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart attacks, and diabetes. The impact of those chronic illnesses is still very staggering on the healthcare sector, whether it's the cost, whether it's the lifestyle impact on the individual patient. And today, the workplace is a golden opportunity for us to tackle those. Having said that, there are multiple venues that I'm observing in any workplace where if we don't use the well-being lens, focus on it, it will really keep the snowball becoming bigger and bigger. Let's start with hydration. Number one, hydration. How many glasses of water do you drink in a day when you're in your workplace? You know? So imagine if you're in a workplace where well-being is not very important. They don't care. You bring your bottle of water, you didn't bring it, whenever you're thirsty. There are no nudges in the workplace to tell you, when did you drink water? You will not receive an SMS telling you how many water did you drink, or a newsletter or anything like that, you know? So that is one aspect. Then we go to the next area, physical activity. Now we've been sitting for how long speaking?
About 30 minutes.
About
maybe.
30 minutes, fair. Usually within 30 minutes, they advise you to get up and have a walk. Imagine if you're in a workplace where this is not important, where you don't have a rising desk and you're just sitting and you can't stand and do your job, or you don't have any other venues to move around. Then you are stuck in the chair for 8 and 9 hours, eventually back pain, eventually obesity, eventually ergonomics issue, eventually chronic illnesses, and so on and so forth. We go to the next, sleep. What's my sleep hygiene? What's my number of hours of sleep? If I don't care about your well-being, I would expect you to be from early morning and you might stay until late night. I wouldn't care if your sleep pattern is being disturbed. This has an impact on your physical aspect. Then we go to your intake, your food intake. Okay, you have a lunch break for 1 hour, eat whatever you want. So, yes, you have responsibility to eat healthy. Obviously, I'm not here to pamper you or to tell you what to eat, what not to eat. But if I don't provide you and I don't make the healthy option, the easy option, accessible, you will indulge in what is available. Okay, there is a sugary item in front of me, I'll have it. Okay, and that will lead to a cascade of events. Then we go to the main elephant in the room, stress. The stress is a mother of many diseases, because with the stress, you're always on your toes, and that ongoing release of hormones in your body because of your stress impacts your heart, impacts your blood pressure, impacts your cholesterol, your sugar, etc., etc., etc. So everything is interconnected, everything is interlinked, and today, one of the biggest hazards we have in office-based workplaces are the chronic illnesses pandemic, because our working style is all based on igniting our brain, and we are just sitting idle. Yeah. And yet when we go back home, we say it was a very tiring day. Really? Exhausted. Very exhausted? How come? You were sitting the whole day. How come?
Mentally exhausted.
Exactly, because before it used to be physical exhaustion when you work manually in a factory, yeah, or you go in your farm, or etc. But now it's all about mental exhaustion. And if there is a mental exhaustion, where is the recharge stations? You expect me just to go and recharge myself? I need a recharge station. You're not providing me with recharge stations in the workplace.
But I expect you to be recharged.
But I expect you to be recharged. Then doesn't it sound a little bit, I would say, peculiar? Because I'm paying you to work for me the whole day, but in return, I'm not providing you with the minimum human requirements. Yeah, just the salary and medical insurance. No, sorry. I need more than that. We are moving to a new era. We need to come out from the industrial mindset. Yes, it was an era. What was suitable at that time is fair, but it's not suitable anymore with this new era. And look at it from another side. How much is it going to cost you? Nothing. It's a one-time investment.
Yeah.
And the moment you feel so comfortable when you stay at work and you feel it's homey, that's the secret to bring the best out of you. Otherwise, your brain will be shut and you will not be able to come up with a new idea that will allow you to excel or to be able to beat your competitor. Because today, everything is about competition. Every industry have a competitor. And for you to be on the edge, you need to provide me with a workplace that allows me to bring the best out of me. Having said that, here is a very important point that I need to mention in your podcast.
Please do.
Every employee has a responsibility in return. It doesn't mean I just sit and wait for my workplace to provide me with everything, and if they don't, I will retaliate and I will do nothing. It doesn't work out like that. I am an employee. I have a responsibility to do my best, to be present, to be positive, to be connected, to be focused. Your workplace is not providing that. Tough luck. Try to cultivate it from somewhere else. But don't just sit there and use it as an excuse or as a blame that, you know, my workplace, they never do anything for us. Yeah, right. Yeah, they could just give us salary. Will it solve the problem? No. It will just make you more negative, and it will make you spread the negativity virus. How about we move on and we take responsibility, and it will be more difficult. Yes, I agree, because your workplace is not providing it and you need to put an extra effort. But you have a choice. You can change your workplace. No, it's very easy said, but you cannot do it in reality. Then you need to be aware about the surrounding and avoid falling in the trap of the victim role.
Yeah.
Because it's very tasty to play the victim role, but it won't reach you anywhere.
And there's always something you can do. I mean, maybe you can't do everything to achieve your own well-being, but there's always something you can do. You can always go for a walk after work. You can always make sure you drink enough water. You can always, even if your desk doesn't go up and down, you can always just kind of take breaks every hour, just go for a stroll around the office and come back. So
Exactly. It will be more difficult because there is no nudge for it. It's not the easy choice. But then you need to take the effort. You might need extra effort versus your colleague who works in another workplace where it's easier. Again, stop comparing. Because one way of comparing is how to improve myself versus my version yesterday.
yeah.
If I'll just keep comparing with someone else, then I will just stay where I am and I'll just keep on cursing myself. No. Okay, yesterday I didn't do this, today let me do that. There is a very interesting documentary called The Blue Zones. People can view it in the Netflix platform. It's a documentary where a researcher goes across the world and he tried to find out where are places people live more than 100 years in a good health and well-being. And he found 5 cities, and he coincidentally came up with a research where he realized there are common behavior, common aspects among those 5 cities people. So for those who didn't watch the documentary yet, let them watch it, and they will find out that it's always my role to start to take care of my well-being, and then the rest falls in place.
That's amazing. So if you would give advice to the leaders today, listening to us today, what would be like the top advice so that they can support their employee well-being? Like without the big investment or the fancy programs, just the thing that they can, like the best or easiest thing that they can start doing right away.
Number 1, deal with them the way you like to be dealt with. And number 2, remember, you are in a position similar to a parent in a household. Whatever you do, they will copy you. And number 3, be mindful.
That's great. Thank you so much, Dr. Mansoor. This was a very eye-opening discussion and it was very refreshing.
You're welcome. I really thank you and the team for hosting me today. This is just the beginning, and I hope there are more episodes to discuss about various aspects of well-being. It's a topic that is never-ending. There is always something to talk about it, and there are many different areas where we can focus. To make things easy on the listeners, on the viewers, just pick up one behavior that you wish to have and that you want to change. Put a commitment in 2025 to change that one behavior, even if you do a small step to change the behavior, not a bold one. Don't take a membership in a gym if you want to go for your physical activity. Just climb the stairs rather than the elevator in your workplace twice a week, not every day, twice a week.
Fair enough.
Make it possible, make it achievable, And even if you stay for the whole year, just doing this is more than enough. It's about consistency. It's not about the how big or how small is the change.
Thank you. That's great advice. Thank you so much. To all our listeners, we hope you found the episode enlightening and that you can support your own well-being journey, whether it's personal or for your team. We're available on both the YouTubes, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Anghami, and Amazon Music. Stay well and keep thriving.